Imagine that right now you are embarking on a journey to another planet, a place of eternal darkness, where the temperature is near freezing and the pressure is intense enough to instantly crush the steel hull of a tank. But to go on this journey, you don't need a spaceship. This planet is right beneath our feet. It is our very own world ocean. We like to think that humanity has conquered the Earth. We have mapped the continents in high detail, ventured deep into the jungles, and built massive megacities. But the truth is, we live on tiny islands of dry land in the middle of a giant unexplored soup. The ocean covers over 70% of our planet's surface, and we have explored barely 5% of it. We actually know more about the topography of Mars and the Moon than we do about our own ocean floor. Today we are going to descend into the depths where sunlight almost never reaches, to uncover the most chilling and mesmerizing secrets of the terrestrial abyss. Part 1. Into the Twilight. Our journey begins at the surface. The first 200 meters make up the epipelagic, or the sunlight zone. This is where the marine life we are familiar with thrives. Dolphins, whales, coral reefs, and schools of colorful fish. But as we descend just a bit further, the world begins to change rapidly. From 200 down to 1,000 meters lies the mesopelagic zone, which scientists call the twilight zone. Only faint blue wavelengths of light manage to pierce this depth, not nearly enough to warm the water or trigger photosynthesis. This is where the kingdom of camouflage and deception begins. Most inhabitants of the twilight zone use bioluminescence, the ability to glow in the dark, but they don't do it for display. A predator known as the anglerfish uses a glowing lure attached to its head to draw prey directly into its massive needle-sharp teeth. Other creatures like the firefly squid use glowing cells on their bellies for counter-illumination. They match the brightness of their bodies to the faint light fading down from above, making their silhouettes completely invisible to predators hunting from below. Surviving in this zone requires extreme adaptation. The water is freezing and food is incredibly scarce. Most creatures here rely on what is known as marine snow, a continuous shower of organic debris, dead plankton, scales, and waste drifting down from the surface. For deep-sea residents, this organic drift is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Part 2. Midnight and Deeper. We slide down even further. Depth 1,000 meters. Welcome to the bathypelagic, or the midnight zone. Sunlight never penetrates this realm. The only sources of light here are the sudden flashes of frightened or hungry creatures. The pressure at this depth is colossal, comparable to having an adult elephant standing on your thumb. How can anything live here? Deep-sea fish simply do not have air-filled cavities like a swim bladder. Instead, their bodies are made of watery flesh and light, flexible bones that do not compress under the immense weight of the water. This is the home of one of the planet's most elusive creatures, the giant squid, or Architeuthis. For centuries, sailors told terrifying legends of the kraken dragging entire ships down to the depths. While they don't actually sink ships, these creatures are entirely real. They can grow up to 13 meters long, and their eyes, the size of dinner plates, are perfectly designed to catch the faintest glimmers of light in the dark, including the bioluminescent wakes of their primary predators, sperm whales. In fact, the deep-sea battles between sperm whales and giant squids at depths of several kilometers are some of the most titanic clashes on Earth, events humanity has almost never witnessed firsthand. Part 3. At the bottom of the world. If we keep moving down, we reach the abyssal zone, stretching down to 6,000 meters. Here, the water temperature hovers around 2 degrees Celsius. It looks like a barren desert, yet life still finds a way. The ocean floor here is blanketed in a thick layer of mud, crawling with sea cucumbers, specialized shrimp, and strange translucent fish. But even this isn't the absolute limit. There are places where the Earth's crust cracks open, forming immense plunging trenches. This is the Hadal zone. The most famous of these places is the Mariana Trench. Its depth is a staggering 11,000 meters. If you could place Mount Everest at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, its peak would still be covered by more than 2 kilometers of water. For a long time, scientists believed life was impossible at these depths. The pressure there is 1,000 times greater than atmospheric pressure at sea level. It is the equivalent of holding a whole fleet of heavy aircraft carriers on your shoulders. Yet, when Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard made history in 1960 by descending to the bottom of the trench in the bathyscaphe Trieste, their searchlights illuminated a flatfish, resembling a flounder, resting on the seafloor. Life adapted even to the crushing weight of the Mariana Trench. Scientists have discovered amphipods there, creatures that look like tiny shrimp. As it turns out, their exoskeletons contain a special chemical compound that keeps their cellular membranes from collapsing under pressure. Part 4. black smokers, and alien life. One of the most mind-blowing discoveries in ocean exploration was the detection of hydrothermal vents, commonly known as black smokers. They are located along mid-ocean ridges where tectonic plates pull apart, allowing molten magma to come close to the seabed. Ocean water seeps into the cracks of the Earth's crust, heats up to 400 degrees Celsius, dissolves toxic minerals and metals from the rock, and then erupts back into the freezing ocean. Due to the sudden temperature drop, the minerals precipitate out of the water, building massive chimneys that spew what looks like thick black smoke. By all logic, this should be a dead zone. The water is scalding, toxic, and highly acidic. Yet, around these black smokers, vibrant and unique oases of life flourish. This is home to Riftia, giant tube worms that can grow up to 2.5 meters long. They have no mouths, no eyes, and no digestive tracts. How do they survive? They live in a perfect symbiotic relationship with specialized bacteria. These bacteria utilize a process called chemosynthesis. Instead of relying on sunlight, they harvest energy from the chemical bonds of toxic hydrogen sulfide, converting it into organic nutrients. This discovery completely revolutionized biology. Before this, it was an accepted fact that all life on Earth depended on the sun. It turns out that life can thrive in pitch darkness, powered solely by the internal heat and chemistry of the planet itself. This is exactly why astrobiologists believe that if we ever find life on Jupiter's moon Europa or Saturn's moon Enceladus, both of which hide global oceans beneath thick icy crusts, it will look very much like the ecosystems surrounding our own black smokers. Part 5: Sounds and Anomalies of the Abyss. The ocean is not just dark, it is also incredibly loud. Sound travels 4 times faster through water than through air, and it travels much farther. Occasionally, underwater microphones called hydrophones pick up sounds from the deep that leave researchers completely baffled. The most famous acoustic mystery occurred in 1997. The US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration recorded an ultra-low frequency sound that became known as the bloop. This sound was so incredibly powerful that it was picked up by sensors placed 5,000 kilometers apart. Wild theories quickly spread about a colossal marine monster, something far larger than a blue whale. The sound profile had an organic, animal-like character. It took years for scientists to finally crack the case. The source of the bloop wasn't Cthulhu or a mythical leviathan. It was the sound of an ice quake, the cracking and fracturing of massive Antarctic icebergs. When a chunk of ice the size of a city splits away from an ice sheet and scrapes against the ocean floor, the deep frequency groan echoes across the entire world ocean. Beyond eerie sounds, the ocean also conceals stunning optical illusions. Did you know that there are waterfalls under the sea? The largest waterfall on Earth isn't located in a mountain range. It is beneath the waves of the Denmark Strait between Greenland and Iceland. This underwater waterfall is formed by differences in water density. The freezing, highly saline water from the Arctic meets the warmer water of the Atlantic. Because cold water is much denser, it plunges violently downward, cascading over a massive submarine cliff over 3 kilometers high. That is 3 times taller than Angel Falls, the highest waterfall on dry land. Conclusion: every single time scientists send deep-sea submersibles to the ocean floor, they discover dozens of completely new species previously unknown to science. The ocean is a living, breathing entity that regulates our planet's climate, generates more than half of the oxygen we breathe, and holds the literal history of the Earth. We spend billions of dollars searching for life in deep space, building advanced telescopes, and engineering Martian rovers. But perhaps we should look down more often instead of looking up, because right here, beneath the heavy blanket of saltwater, lies an entire alien world just waiting to be discovered. Thank you for diving into the abyss with me today. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next expeditions into the most mysterious corners of our planet. See you in the next video.